So, anyways, hey there. Welcome back to Happy Little Node Trees. We're continuing on. I think we're on to the fourth module of talking about Contour, the newest, latest OFX plugin from Contour by, or Color by Cullen Cook. Anyways, there's a link in the description. And if you've watched the other videos, we're doing great. So, deep dive, we're on to the SAP module curve. So, we're going to just turn off. If you've already heard about my DRT choices leading to a big factor into Contour, which, by the way, there are rumors that Cullen would love to have his own DRT built into Contour so you can own the pipeline per se. That'd be cool. As we talked about, neutral this is the only way I like to get to neutral is with this one. And so we're just going to go into Contour. We're going to drop out. We're just flat. We'll leave our contrast curve where it's at. We're going to turn off our split and disable that for now. And we're going to just look at our stat. And this is really cool. The previous version of Contour didn't do saturation like this. And so it was really interesting to see all these new features. So if we turn that curve on, we have our sat, red, green, and blue channels. Happy dippy, but now we have like three options. We can drop our saturation and low end. And so if you look in the vector scope in the top left, we have our lows, mids, and highs, and that's where we're really going to see some effect going on with where we're pulling in those lows and just dropping that. We can boost our mids and kind of stick with boosting the saturation in our mids. And we can even drop our highs. Like you can go crazy with thinking about what is this, and then master just pops it up, pop it up. Or we can invert this and go, oop, let's go the other way. Let's boost the highs and lows and keep the mids low. I don't know. It is this playground curvy oyster. And then you can bias your sat where you want that. So if I don't want her skin to boost, I'll just pop that over to cyan and leave that there. Green versus magenta, just kind of to taste. Blue versus yellow, all that. And then if you want to be sneaky about it, we didn't talk about it with the sat mask, but it's in the split curve. But we can kind of be with this loom mask. We can be like, well, we want to only affect certain parts of the image based on luminosity. So we can bring up this highlight mode. See if that loads. There we go. So as we bring down our loom mask, it's only affecting where there's color. Where we've graded out, we've kind of neutralized it from the effects of our saturation curve. And we can invert that and say, all those spots we want saturated. And we want her skin to be saturated. What do we want? So you're kind of just picking based on that. And we can even turn off whatever we don't want. But yeah, it's kind of just a way to be sneaky in terms of putting that saturation in certain places based on luminosity. So kind of fun, very fun to play with. We're not going to break here. We're going to just keep going right into density because do we need to? Yeah, it's a playground. I'm still learning how all the things that you can do with it are. Well, we're just popping to density. This is kind of open-ended question. What is density? I don't know. It's kind of just getting that, like, if you know it when you see it. But yeah, just go back to our SAT for a second. We can go to diagnostics, bring up our chips, and you can see what we got going on here. So this is with SAT, and this is with our stock DRT and kind of how things are affecting it versus using our neutral DRT. And yeah, just kind of seeing where things are. We can go back into Contour and turn this on and off. That's a really cool feature is just turn it on. Oops. Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. Turn the curve off. You can see where you're affecting that saturation right on the screen, right there. So we're going to leave this up for now as we talk about density in here. And you can kind of just see how it's going to affect if we start densifying. So we're gonna it kind of slides the colors around, and we can make just the reds against the science, and we're just playing the colors against each other, wherever and however we want, and just making it be what we want. If we go back and turn off the diagnostics, we're back to our image, and there's our girl, and yeah, just playing around. What are we doing with that density? and just kind of affecting the different hues and how they work in concert with each other, um, and things like that. And then, yeah, the last one that we can talk about is hue versus hue. And so we can kind of see where we're making these shifts. We can make some big shifts, little shifts, and kind of just affect all the shifts to create this look of having what we want, how we want it. And yeah, it's just rotating. So there's, uh, you can see how we're wheeling it. From what I understand is, so like if we were to reset this just there, if we were to say, take our yellow, from what I understand, and go pop it up, when we bring down our reds, it's diminishing, it's changing how the yellows pop, because they're linked. It isn't making some weird funky curve that is hard to understand. And bam, there we have it. So now we've made just the wonkiest looking hue curve you could possibly have. But you see how, yeah, we crank down on our cyans, but when we bring up our blues and rotate our blues to magenta, it is affecting our cyans a little bit, but it's trying to do it in a smooth, intelligent manner. And we can do that same thing with the loom mask and the focus mask. Kind of just changes how it does that, and we can invert that, and we can kind of see with that mask that this curve is only affecting what we're highlighting. So we want to keep her out. We want to just affect different regions of the map. And there you go. We'll turn that off. And there you have it. That is contour in 4 or 5 videos. The first one really talked about choosing your DRT and how you're getting to your display space, as very important. And we talked about setting up open DRT in a neutral state compared to its stock state and how it affects the image, and the changes you will make in contour based on what you're looking at before you even start touching any of the knobs. And then we talked about, and we walked through, I think in one video we talked solely about the contrast curve, and then we solely talked about that split curve and the things that we could do with that and how we want to minimize, maximize, push the colors around. And then we've kind of just quickly gone through saturation, density, and hue. There's some really cool stuff with being able to bring up the cube, which I'd have to process the cube, open the cube, and there you can see a cube plot of what's going on when you make changes. And I can't, yeah, so there was really no reason to even do that experiment because I can't record all the things that is recording to do that. Yeah, sorry, I can't show you my cube. I wish I could. I can't show you the cube while I'm working on it in the act. And then there's ways to export and import in Plurify. So if you really like all these settings, you can save them and you can bring them back in later. And you can export LUT, which will just replace contour. So we'll make a 65-point LUT of just what contour is doing, and you just bring it in, put it back in, and there's your LUT from contour. You can also go and use it when you make a normal LUT, however you do. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive in 4 or 5 episodes of looking at contour by Cullen Kelly. It's a very fun plugin. I use it all the time, especially at the macro level, starting with that contrast curve and how easy it is to shape the contrast curve to make the look that you want. But until next time, watch any of my other videos, like, subscribe, do those YouTubey things. I do like comments. I will respond to them and give you any tips, hints, and tricks that you might want. So do that YouTubey thing. I like it. All right, until next time, we'll see you later. I'm going to stop recording.